Welcome to The Explainer. Look, today we're going to break down some absolutely essential strategies, the kind that help you go from stressing about exams to feeling totally confident and ready to crush them. So you're staring down a big exam, right? And that pressure, man, it can feel intense. But what if you had a clear, actionable game plan? Not just to survive it, but to actually, do great. All right, so how do we do that? Well, we're going to tackle this in 4 key parts. First up, getting your mindset right. Then we'll talk about building a smart process, dig into some seriously powerful study techniques, and wrap it all up by mastering the rhythm of a great study plan. Okay, first things first. Before you even think about opening a book or looking at a single note, success starts right here, between your ears. Seriously, it's all about the conversation you're having with yourself. Just think about the words you use, If you tell yourself, ugh, this exam is such a drag, you're basically setting yourself up for a terrible time. You're programming your brain for it. But watch what happens when you flip that script. The second you change the language, you start seeing it as a challenge you can actually beat. And listen, this isn't just some fluffy, think positive advice. It's way deeper. When you adopt this kind of internal monologue, it fundamentally changes your whole approach. It's the fuel, right? It's what's going to get you through the entire process when things get tough. Okay, so once you've got that confident mindset locked in, let's build a solid process around it. And we're going to start with a pretty brilliant idea for how to tackle the work itself. This is probably one of the best ways to beat procrastination. We've all been there, right? Dreading that one tough subject. It just hangs over your head all day like a dark cloud. But imagine getting it over with first thing. The rest of your day feels like a total breeze. It's amazing. So when it comes to studying, eating the frog just means starting early. Don't put it off. Then you take that mountain of information and you break it down into smaller, bite-sized pieces. You start with the simple stuff and build your way up. It gives you this awesome little confidence boost and makes the whole thing feel easier as you go. All right, so we've got the mindset, we've got the process. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the actual techniques. How do we make every single minute you spend studying as effective as it can possibly be? Okay, this first one is a total game changer. I mean it. Instead of just passively rereading your notes, which, let's be honest, doesn't do much, you have to actively test yourself. A fantastic way to do this? Try to teach the material to someone else. Seriously, even if it's just your cat or an empty chair, it works. So you've got to ask yourself this. Are you actually reviewing or are you just rereading? Because rereading feels productive, I get it, but the knowledge just doesn't stick. Self-testing, on the other hand, that's what shows you what you really know and, maybe more importantly, what you don't. That's where the real learning kicks in. Here's a cool little brain hack for you. Your brain is basically hardwired to pay attention to new stuff, new surroundings. So if you occasionally change up where you study, go from the library to a coffee shop, maybe to your kitchen table, you're keeping your brain on its toes. It stays stimulated and way more open to learning. And hey, don't sleep on the power of visuals. Your brain doesn't think in boring lines of text. It thinks in connections and images. So when you create something like a colorful mind map, you're organizing information in a way that your brain can grab onto and remember so much better. All right, for our last section, let's zoom out a bit. Because it's not just about what you do, it's about when and how you do it. The whole rhythm of your studying, that's the glue that holds all these other strategies together. Really, this all comes down to one simple idea. Work with your natural energy cycles, not against them. Trying to force yourself to learn when you're totally exhausted or just bored out of your mind, it's so inefficient. The magic happens when you study when you feel ready and you give yourself a break when you're not. Simple as that. And that timing is so important. See, our brains start forgetting stuff almost the second we learn it. It's just what they do. But if you have a big review session pretty close to when you first learn the material, you interrupt that forgetting curve. It makes it 1,000 times easier to lock that knowledge in for exam day instead of, that desperate last-minute cram session we all hate. And really, at the end of the day, that's the whole point. This isn't just about passing one exam. It's about combining that positive mindset with smart strategies to build real, unshakable confidence. The kind of confidence that tells you that you can handle whatever comes your way. So we've laid out the tools, we've given you the game plan. Now that first step, that's on you. So I'll leave you with this question. What's the one frog you're going to eat tomorrow to get this whole thing started?